Vaingate Chronicles, number 23. Greetings, lords and ladies of Arvendor. I am but the guardian of this threshold, set here by the primal elves themselves, to usher you to your thrones, and channel the weave to your divine senses so that you may witness this tale unfold. The inhabitants here call me the Dungeon Master, but I am merely the arbiter of this world, a grim task left to me since the day of Parkard, when the one-eyed god of the orcs destroyed the first moon and split the sun in twain. Now there are 7 moons here in Sidarhael, and 5 heroes. Now, before we recap the story, I would like to make a few announcements. Firstly, we have some exciting news. We are currently introducing a new player to our world, Sidarhael, a young lady, an actress by the name of Caitlin Abigail Louise Flower, who will in fact now be a contender for the longest name on the show, although not the hardest to pronounce. Her character is currently under construction. However, I can tell you that we will be recording her prequel games and uploading them to our YouTube archive in the next few days. Keep an eye on that. Also, please note that Joanna has kindly edited our most recent archives upload and added some timestamps to make it easy to navigate. So, more and more we are seeing people watching and re-watching sessions and episodes over on YouTube too. So if you cannot see the end of a session, or God forbid you miss one, you can head over to our YouTube channel and find the full backlog over there. In other news, I would like to say a massive thank you to everyone who has followed, subscribed, or given away subscriptions to our viewers here on our channel. After just over 6 months of work, we have received our first payout from Twitch, which we have put back into the channel, and can now proudly call ourselves professional streamers and role players all. This is something we are very proud of and could not have achieved without your assistance. Now, this said, right now we are participating in an event here in New Zealand called Gaming for Charity, now open. So yeah, please open a new browser and look that up right now, or right click on the blue Gaming for Charity panel below, somewhere down here. If you're inclined to spend your hard-earned cash on us, I ask you that this month at least hold off and instead spend your money, anything from $1 upwards, on these guys, so that you can help terminally ill children in New Zealand at the Auckland Starship Hospital. It's easy, and you can make a massive amount of difference to these kids' young lives. Now, also, for your information, we have a Facebook page, a Twitter, an Instagram, a YouTube, which we've put a lot of effort into, by the way, and even Patreon accounts. So if you like what you see, if you enjoy our story-driven role-playing focused campaign, if you like role-playing with subtext and ethical dilemmas, philosophical musings, as well as some good old-fashioned high fantasy action and adventure, from heart-pounding action scenes to wondrous exploration and encounters, please click the little follow button and sit back. And as you do that, let me remind you of one last thing: divinity. It's the channel currency. You can find it down at the bottom of your chat panel. It looks like a little purple infinity sign. You can basically use divinity, and you can gain divinity just by watching the show. And when you get enough of it, which is not very much really, you can begin to influence the story itself. You can ask the DM, that's me, to set difficulty ratings. You can make things harder or easier for players whenever I say, this is an open check. And there are other things that you can do with your divinity too, but if you get enough of it and you work together as audience members, you could even resurrect someone who has died, for example, so keep this in mind going forward. Now, I'd like to return to the story of our heroes. Milford Brixton, our half-elven rogue, who you can see over here, played by Barry Tahira. Gudael Dala Talandaran, our elven cleric of the Daughters of Twilight, played by Joanna Grotenhouse, who you can see down there. Then we have Adrik Fogdar, Dwarven Rune Knight, fighter and reluctant hero, immortalized by Michael Bache, over there. The Baron Edryn Stywell Krilinovich Montkoff, brought to life by Max Easy. And finally, Leith Mistralath, channeled to the weave by none other than our very own Steve Austin. Yes, so this is one of the reasons we had to have Steve on tonight. Having stolen a monumental amount of giant treasure from the Barachiel Envoy wizards in the city of Vaingate, the companions have fled to the mythical Isle of Shadows, and now taken an oath to Galandahl Breagan Erothani and his supporters, the servants of the Fox, outlaws all, hunted by the Usurper King Ivran Erothani and his militia, the Blackguard. These events have also brought Gudael to a new understanding of what it is her own father, the supreme commander of the Blackguard, is engaged in, and that he has more recently arrested and imprisoned her own adopted brother, a captain of said Blackguard, at a location known to the world as the Sufferance, an ancient labyrinth of canals set among the giant walls of a long-lost complex above the city of Highbrook. Here it is said each prisoner resides upon an island given just enough resources to make a self-sustaining plot of land to survive, condemning them to a life of endless toil. And thus it is that our heroes travel now via the wood-elven home of Lithlian to Hemithterith, or Highbrook, to petition and or find a way to break Gudael's adopted brother, Wren, from the Sufferance. I'm Russell Kirkby. Welcome to the Vaingate Chronicles, episode number 23, Hemithterith. So, if you hadn't already got the gist of that, Barry Tahira, Milford Brixton, Steve Austin as Leith Mistralath, Joanna Grotenhouse as Gudael Dala Talandaran, she of the very long name, and Max Easy as Edryn Montcoff, and finally Michael Bache, whose birthday it was today or yesterday or something to that effect, as Adrik Fogdar. So, I believe our characters are hanging out over at the Blackstone Owl in Lithlian, which is a tavern, and you've recently discovered that you are being tracked or followed or otherwise watched by someone who left behind a small piece of foxtail, suggesting quite literally, as one of you put it last time, the message is the medium. Indeed. So you are waking up in your rooms in the tavern. In fact, I do believe you did go up to your rooms, in fact.
Yes.
At the end of the last episode, yeah.
Yeah.
I had a nightmare at the end of my episode.
You did?
So did Edryn mention, he hasn't mentioned his dream, has he?
No, but Adrik did ask about it.
Oh, the second Edryn woke up, he's been out of the door, and he's... the second he wakes up, he's out of the door and tottering over to Windwalker's house.
Right. Edryn, where are you going?
I need to go have a talk with Miss Windwalker for a moment. Don't wait up. I'll be back in a moment.
All right. Would you like us to get you some food? It was on the tab.
If it's on the tab, yes, please. If not, don't worry.
Would you like someone to come with you?
I am perfectly fine. I think I shall be all right. What I would like is a drink, please. Anything.
Milford's already gone down for breakfast.
Ah, okay. Milford's gone down for breakfast. Well, you see a number of wood elves sitting about, supping upon their breakfast, drinking morning mead, eating various, mostly vegetarian food, actually, these wood elves.
Pleasure.
Soren is standing behind the counter, and he looks over at you, Edryn, as you wander in, and he smiles. Sir.
Hello. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. And then I go out the door.
I'm following Edryn downstairs.
Gudael's hard on Leith's heels.
All right, and Milford, you're already sitting here eating breakfast, I'm going to say.
Mr. Edryn,
Yes?
could I have a word?
There's nobody joining me for breakfast then.
Adrik's sliding in.
I'll be right back, Milford.
Gudael sits down as well.
If you must, Leith, yes, I'm happy to have a discussion.
I just want to make sure you're quite all right, because you did seem to be have a very disturbed sleep. No, not that I was watching you sleeping last night, but you were quite tossing and turning quite a bit.
Yes. I just remembered I need to ask. When I forgot something again at Windwalker's house. I'm a very forget. That's what happens when you're a human and old and drink a lot. I've forgotten something else. It seems I forgot. I forgot plenty of things apparently, like many things. So I will. I'm fine. I shall be back swiftly.
Very good.
Yes, but thank you, Leith. I shall see you in a moment.
No problem. Yes.
So those of you that are new to this part of the world, you will notice that there are many beautiful birds among the trees here too, flitting about, very colourful. Also, various other wild animals seem to encroach in ways that would not be tolerated in other cities. Certainly Vaingate has nothing like this amount of wildlife this close to the action, as it were. So you're heading to Vashti Windwalkers, are you, Edryn?
I am.
You am. All right.
I am.
Many stairs later, and 2 sightings of Blackguards, I might add, whom you stealthily avoid, which is not all that tricky because they're kind of busy with things. That you see that there are Blackguards down by where the boat would have been, and they're kind of standing there on guarding. Blackguards guarding, indeed. In any case, you get up to the apothecary's shop high in the boughs of the 3 mothers, the trees, the huge, massive world trees that look down over the whole forest. And you're kind of somewhere towards the upper branches of the taller trees of the actual forest itself. When you break out of that and you're among the 3 mothers high up, you can see the birds flitting around below in the early morning sunlight of primum solum, the first sun. When you get to the door of the apothecary's house,
I knock.
boom, boom, boom. After a few moments, the door opens, and Vashti opens the door there, and she stands. Oh, she looks about. You're back. I was not expecting to see you so swiftly. She steps back and she says, please do come in, perhaps quickly.
Yes, I shall come in quickly.
Who's following you, by the way? Who's following Edryn? Anybody on his heels still or not?
I've gone back and sat down at the table and sort of been shaking my head and going, humans are very strange and very fickle creatures.
Well, don't worry about it. Just have this mussel fritter here. This is good. No, it's really good.
Try the pastry. It's delicious.
You know, this breakfast beer. Edryn's gonna love this breakfast beer. It's something quite special.
Right. Well, Edryn, you go into the apothecary on the other side of the settlement, and Vashti ushers you in. Would you like to take a seat? Are you here for a long stay? Or are you looking to purchase something?
I am. No, I don't think I'll sit down. If it's all right, I would like some letters sent.
Letters sent?
Yes. I'm sure you would be able to do so, and if a reply could be sent. So then, if the person I sent it to, they could get their letter back, it could be sent to the servants of the fox. On the, so I could be able to read it, because currently any form of communication they think I am capable of is currently in a city where I am a wanted man.
I see. Of course. We do have a contact in Vaingate whom we can perhaps assist in obtaining your letters. Were they being sent anywhere in particular? Do you have a contact there that you need to establish contact with in order to obtain said communications?
Is that in Vaingate or where I'm wanting to send it?
Either or, both. It seems to me that your group probably needs some form of network or some sort of communications Net.
Yes. The last person who was able to send our letters was the steward of the Queen, and she went missing, so I can't imagine he's got a job anymore. So, and I don't think they'd particularly want to be hearing about us anytime soon with what's going on over there. So a network would be lovely, but I need to send 2 letters. I need to actually write them up first. I'm sorry. This is inspiration hits with inspiration.
Well, are there any people in particular that you would like me to make contact with so that I can be your point of contact whilst you're here in this vicinity?
I would like you to, in terms of the letters, I would like to be sent to Vanderhold.
I see.
Some far ways away.
Very good.
And I find it difficult to be able to. I won't get any news anytime swiftly, I don't think. But better late tan never.
Better late than never. Yes.
Yes, I need to send something to my wife, but almost more importantly, I need to send one to my uncle regarding a potential family emergency.
I'm sure that's absolutely not a problem. I'll send your messages as you give them to me.
Right. Do you happen to have some paper and a quill I could use?
Of course, you've not written these
anything.
messages yet. I see.
I woke up about 5 minutes ago, put on some warmer clothes, and went out the door. It's rather abrupt.
Please do sit down. I will bring you what you need. And she does. She brings you out many pages of parchment and quills, some ink. Yes. Will this suffice?
Yes, that'll be lovely. I'll try keep it swift for their sake as well as the messengers, and for your sake, obviously, for having me here early in the morning. I apologize. It's yes, rather peculiar circumstances that have made me put forward this suggestion.
Are you quite all right, Mr. Montcoff?
Oh, just human. I mean, I'm sure you probably don't suffer from them. Dreams.
Oh yes,
I'm sure you trance, which is a bit more structured.
We do dream from time to time, but it is ever so rare. Ever so rare.
Right.
Let me make you a tea that will soothe and calm your nerves.
Right, thank you. Yes, I haven't had tea in a very long time, except for that rather potent one you gave me the other day.
Yes, of course. This one will be a little different, something to calm your nerves. Very well. So she sets about making tea. She gives you all the paper and things that you need.
Dala. Oh, now I remember it. That's the right name, isn't it?
Yes, Milford. That is my name.
So what do you think of these mussels then?
They're a bit chewy. Have you tried?
They got batter on them, for goodness sake. How much more,
If they're mussels, they must have come from a very long way.
That's why they're expensive, no doubt.
Right. And probably will make you sick.
Yeah, oh, that's all right. I don't mind. Yeah, you want me to constitute myself, do you?
Make a constitution check?
Yeah.
I don't see why not. I think that's only reasonable. Milford
Really
Brixton.
looking forward to Barry Brixton projectile vomiting across this table.
Yeah. Lovely.
It's gonna be like the that movie with the girl that spins her head around, The Exorcist.
The Exorcist.
That's the one.
Right. Okay. Milford Brixton Constitution saving throw. Here we go. 17. Okay, you're fine. You're fine.
Well, while Brixton's not Brixton, sorry. While Edryn's away, perhaps we should have a quick chat about our next move. So when he gets here, we can get the fuck out, so to speak.
Good plan, Adrik.
Right. So are we just walking to Highbrook? Are we staying here another day? Don't recommend it. Or should we get a caravan?
Yes, well, I'm not sure if the boat is a very good idea, especially
Perhaps.
near built-up areas. But
Well, what if we were to get some wagon wheels, unfold the boat, put the wagon wheels on the boat, and then were to ride it?
No, I'm all for keeping the boat folded and tucked away.
Right, answered.
Out of game, anybody that's from this area will know that from here on in, the river doesn't go near the road. In fact, here's something I prepared earlier.
Oh boy.
And this is a map of the general area going from Vaingate all the way to the Elven Kingdoms, which are inside this little red box. Now, the next map I'm going to show you is the Lockhart Valley. Right, now this is a little closer. And here we can see the Isle of Shadows in the lake, and they've gone up the river all the way to Lithlian over here. And as you can see in the map, there is a road that crosses the whole sort of segment, the river itself, and goes all the way to this kind of horseshoe-shaped road that on the one hand goes all the way to Vaingate, and on the other hand goes to Timbrook, and of course some other places. And this road, as it goes from west to east, it goes up and up and up into the mountains until it gets to Highbrook. For those that are watching, Highbrook is also known as Hemithterith by the elves, which is the name of this week's episode. Dun dun dun.
We have to get to Hemithterith, otherwise the episode name won't make sense.
Exactly. So the river is the Highbrook, and it comes from the Barachiel mountain ranges, which is up behind Highbrook and all of these mountains, essentially. And I also suggest that you guys should subscribe to this channel, if nothing else, for my crayon maps, which are exceptionally artistic, I might add.
I have no opinion.
So there you go. All right, so hopefully you guys have got the gist of... Back to the pictures of the people talking and stuff.
All right. Now listen,
Right.
I suggest we take horses.
Aye, the faster we get there, the better.
Do you
Well,
agree
miss
with
Fri-
that?
Thank
Do you
you to
agree
your
with that,
grandma.
young lady? Do you? I mean, you live there. We have to go, you know.
Yes, we can ride them to the house where I grew up, and we can stable the horses there.
Okay. Okay. So, how are your parents going to feel with a bunch of strangers?
Oh, true. We were going to go to the temple first, weren't we?
Aye, but perhaps we should consider our cover before we go. How do your parents feel about half elves, dwarves, and humans?
They find humans a bit of an oddity.
Oh, I can understand that.
Oh, can you?
Oh, yes.
They're very fond of the dwarves and their craftsmanship.
Ah, we'll get along famously then. No problem.
Indeed. And half-elves, perhaps they feel a touch sorry for them, but I don't think they hold it against them that they're not full elves.
Oh, that's good. I like people feeling sorry for me.
You can use that. You can use that to your favor, Brixton.
Oh, would I dare do that? Oh, no.
Oh, you'd never do such a thing, would you?
No, not me. Not me.
Of course not.
They can smell a plot a mile away, though. If you're trying to pull the wool over their eyes, I'm sure we must do this very carefully.
Brixton, do not enter that house. They'll know. Do not enter that house.
I don't know how to take that, really.
However you want, but I reckon we should take it on the road.
It's a good idea.
You see what I did there? Adrik,
I
diffusing
do.
in situations.
Yes, that was very funny.
I didn't think it was that funny, really.
Well, because you got a poor sense of humor. Leith is a comedic genius. He understands me.
Well, I'm not the comedic genius. You're probably more the comedic genius than I am, but
It's also true.
yes.
Oh, gee. You know...
Can I roll an insight check to see if Leith's bullshitting me?
You can make an insight check.
Spectacular.
Have you all had breakfast? May I suggest these mussels over here?
I got an 11.
Yeah, at least can you make a deception check if you are, if you are in fact deceiving him?
Yeah, I
Unless-
guess I probably am.
All right.
Which
then.
roll dice? We got to play the D&D.
24.
24.
I don't suspect
You
a
don't
thing.
suspect a thing.
You are so sincere.
Where's our great illustrious leader gone then?
He went to go visit Vashti, but if we need to make tracks as soon as he gets back, I can always bag his breakfast.
Yeah, go. Okay, do that for him. Don't tell him it comes from the sea, though. You know how he reacts to that.
Dala, would you mind opening the bag of holding for me? I'm just going to slide it in there.
Oh, yes, here.
And Adrik just like gets a plate, just shakes it in.
I've got to make up a new name for me, just that I can't think of one.
How about
How about
Breagan?
What? Breagan. Breagan's good.
Breagan's good.
Sounds good to me.
I thought your name was Erdan.
Who did?
You're going to go with Breagan, the name of the king that everyone's trying to hunt down? That's a great idea. You should do that.
Oh,
That
it's
is
a
a-
big
that is a-
compliment. It's a big compliment. Isn't
That
it?
is disembodied voice in the sky. That is a good point.
Just
But no, hang on. Wait a minute. Isn't that a compliment to him?
We're just arguing with God now.
you've gone
Arguing
mad.
with a god.
You've all gone mad.
It's the
Madness.
breakfast, you know. It's the breakfast.
It's
I'm
the
telling you.
muscles. They've
It's
got
the
to your
muscle.
brain.
Milford, I'm sure we chose a name for you, and it was Erdan? Erdan?
Isn't that a sheep?
Ergon. Ergon. Well, that's
Aegon,
all right
that's
name.
nice. That's a good name. I like that one.
Ergon.
Ergon. Okay.
What are we gonna?
Whatever it is, you must remember it.
Ergon. I'm not gonna
Disembodied
remember
voice in the sky.
Do you hear that?
it. Russell, you know my memory.
Who's Russell?
Well, I think you need to write this down on the group canon page so that you can remember
Yeah,
it.
I'll do it now while we're chatting.
Yeah.
I could pretend to be deaf, dumb, and blind.
So did anyone
Well-
see a place to procure horses?
I'm
It's
sure
a
we
little
can
thing
find
called
something.
a stable.
Ah, yes.
I haven't been able to find one yet because I was having breakfast, as I've already told you.
We'll ask Soren on our way out.
All
Are
right.
you taking charge?
Well, you're not. You're clearly talking to yourself or some deity after you've eaten all those mussels.
And what's my name then?
Erdan.
That's good. Erdan. Yes.
Well, do you have a last name? Because
No,
Gudael's
let's
parents are
not.
gonna-
Let's
just
not
that.
have the last name.
Erdan Nameless. We love it.
We need something unimportant.
Erdan Box Cutter.
Why not?
All right,
Erdan Box Cutter.
Because box cutter's not a name. That might be right.
You're
Just a
not
bloody
there.
voice, you
Well,
make a
actually,
good
he's
point.
there. He's there.
Erdan. It's just Soren yelling at us from across the bar.
No, this is the voice of reason.
no,
Erdan Windwalker.
I'll do.
Erdan
Erdan Windwalker.
Walker.
We should all commit that to memory. As
So
a part of
you
our
telling
canon.
me I'm related to her up the tree then?
Why not?
Erdan Windwalker.
Would that get Vashti in trouble if we were to be found out?
Imagine how common that name is. Because, it would have been vaguely aspirational. I want my child to be a windwalker. Something like that.
Excuse me. We've got to get some horses, don't we?
This is true. Well, let's wait for Edryn to get back, and then we go. Unless he'll wander, he'll think we just abandoned him.
I'm a bit upset about getting a horse.
Edryn, you finished writing up your first letter, and Vashti hands you a little pottle of something and puts it on the table in front of you, and she gives you another quill. She says, I've just mixed this up for you whilst you were busy. I hope this doesn't mean you have to start again, but this is invisible ink.
Ah, ooh, it'd be quite good.
It can only be seen beneath the light of the watchtower moon.
Right. Thank you. I don't think I'll.
You might not
need
need it for
I'm
now.
not writing anything.
No, this is
particularly-
a gift to you, Edryn. Take it with you.
Ah, thank you. Thank you very much. That's actually very, very good. Thank you.
Also-
that's much appreciated.
I wanted you to know that there is a safe haven for you in Hemithterith. Look for a fellow named Galt Sunbrazer. Or Sunbrazen. Sunbrazen.
Brazen.
Yes, my apologies.
Where do they work?
He is a human, he is a tanner, and you will find him in lower Highbrook, in the lower quarters. I'm not sure specifically where he is. I've not been there for some time. But if you ask about
Very
you-
good. Thank you very much. I shall make a note of we shall be sure to check in with him before we do anything too hasty.
Now, further to this, I told you previously that there would be eyes on you. Did I not?
Yes.
Well, those eyes are continuing to watch. At some point, I will suggest that those eyes make contact with you, at least briefly. So do not be surprised if you are sought out, contacted by an unknown personage.
Yes, I think myself and Adrik may have spied this person, and they left us a little
A token.
That is the word, yes, token.
Very well. Please do finish up your letters. I'm sorry to disturb you.
Thank you. No. Thank you very much. Please, yes.
Right, back to you guys
Anything else?
over on the other side.
Barkeep.
Yes, sir.
Would you mind telling us where we might find, a place to buy horses?
Of course. There's a stable not far from here. You want Galandahl stable? It's just down. Galandahl Breagan. There you go.
Could you also, Barkeep, tell our friend when he comes that we've just gone to get horses and we'll be back for him?
Yes, my lord. Of course I will.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're too kind.
I like him.
Anything else I can do for you all?
Make sure you recommend the Earl Grey tea and the pastries.
Ah, yes, the tea, Earl Grey, hot.
Why are you talking like that? Are you alright, friend?
I like Earl Grey tea.
Especially when it's hot.
Aye,
Yeah.
aye.
Oh, especially when it's hot.
Especially when it's hot.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, is everybody talking in code at the moment?
Aye, you're
Certainly
the only
not
one left
me.
out, Leith.
Oh, well, as long as we're clear about that.
Right. Long story short, what do you guys do next?
Going to get horses, I assume.
All right.
Horses, guys?
Yes, horses.
Horses?
Spectacular.
All right. Well, a few minutes later, you find yourselves heading through the town of Lithlien. There's this settlement. It's quite big. You cross over some bridges on the other side of the river. The bridge itself is actually a huge tree root that has grown to encompass the entire river. And you head across there. And you find yourselves at a little stable, and there is indeed the fellow whose name I gave you. You get to the stables. Gedalt looks up as you enter, as a wee group of four of you, I take it. The four of you come in.
One more.
One more.
Yeah, there'll be another friend, a human joining us. Yes, just our fifth. He shouldn't be too long now.
What are you looking for, sir?
Handful of horses, and anything a bit shorter for me. Maybe like a wee Shetland or a sturdy goat.
A goat. Don't sell goats. You looking to buy or rent, by the way?
Rent.
Yes.
Unless you were
Give
planning
him
to
a
do cash.
donkey, will ya?
I do have a donkey.
I could go with a donkey.
Give him a donkey.
All right. Okay, so 220 silver pieces later, you guys have ponies or donkeys, whichever you prefer. If you're looking for fancy horses, that will be an entirely different arrangement.
Oh, I'm not looking for
not
a
just
fancy
yet.
horse.
No.
Is that 220?
Between you.
Silver.
Between you all. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Calculate.
My friend, do you know how to put a saddle on a donkey? Because it's a different kind of saddle.
Of course, my lord. And
Not you. I know you do. I'm talking to him.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm more familiar with oxen and goats, which is why I asked.
Okay, I tell you what, I'll put it on for you.
Thank you very much.
Then we won't have to pay for it.
Spectacular. I am eternally grateful.
all right. So you guys have managed to get yourselves some horses, ponies, donkeys, etc., whichever it is that you choose. Do take a note. You can choose names for your horses, donkeys, mules, and things too, if you like.
I do. I'm going to
and
call my
again?
donkey Arse.
Arse. Arse the donkey.
Thank you,
Donkey!
Greyheart. It's your fault.
This is your fault. Yes. All right, fair enough. So, and Edryn, do you finish up writing your letters?
Yes, I do. Yes, I have my little signature at the bottom. Yada yada yada. If it's all right, if I could just get just a blob of, I'll gladly pay for it, but just a blob of wax on the folded part of the letter,
Yeah.
and then I can always use my signet ring to
Right. Seal it.
impression.
Right, make the impression.
Yes.
All right, that sounds reasonable. Okay, cool. We'll say you pay for it. We're not going to track that. It's too minuscule to concern ourselves with. Very good. And you are largely done. Anything else you want from Vashti before you leave the apothecary store?
No, that is. Thank you very much, Miss Windwalker. That was. Yes, thank you for putting up with me at such an early hour and at such a
No, of course.
a whim of the typical human whim of the moment.
She grabs a number of eggs, quail eggs, and possibly other eggs that you don't recognize, and literally puts them in your pocket too. She says, "These were brought to me this morning. I thought that you might enjoy these, and you could share them with your friends. They'll keep you going for a day or two, perhaps."
Thank you very much. That's very, very kind of you.
Now you should probably
I'll
run.
find.
I imagine you've
Yes,
got much to do.
Yes, I think they might be probably looking for me now. Thank you very much.
Of course. All right, so you head off. You get to, cutting a long story short, you get back to the Blackstone Owl. Soren tells you where to go. You cross the river over the trunk, the roots, the bridges, etc., until you get to where they are, which is a small center of town. Like there's three different centers, if you like, in the town of Lithlian due to the three trees. Can you make a perception check for me? Wisdom perception check, please. Wisdom perception.
Okay, that, except for
goes.
today,
A huge
when it's an 8.
gentleman's 8. Excellent. Well, yeah, I'm not sure what you're concerning yourself with, but you don't notice anything in particular. You hear some singing in the background, but it doesn't really sink in as being anything vaguely important. Very good.
Doesn't sound like Adrik singing then.
It's not Adrik, so you ignore it.
Okay.
And you find yourself, I think perhaps it's because it's in a different, you speak a lot of languages, but when you're speaking one language or another, your mind is in that language and you filter out other languages. So perhaps you've been writing in common, and so you're thinking in common, and so you're not hearing the Elven right now. And so as you come into the stable, you consciously have to switch into Elven, which is what everyone here is speaking, and you notice that they're organizing these donkeys and asses and ponies and things. And Gudael Breagan of Lithlian, the stable hand, hands you the reins to a pony. And I believe this is for you, sir.
Oh, well, thank you very much. This is very
I named him Goose for you.
Goose.
You can call him anything you like, sir. Don't listen to that dwarf.
He's attached to his name.
Right, yes.
How did you know that was his name?
I can speak horse.
Oh.
It's a
Oh,
talent.
will you lot just stop horsing around and get on with it?
Eden, I'd like you to meet Archibald, my donkey.
Archibald.
Aye, Arse for short.
I quite like that. That was something my uncle Gadolf would enjoy that quite a bit.
Dwarven humor.
Adrik almost falls off his donkey because he's laughing to himself so hard.
Shocking. People pay to come to this channel.
They certainly do, and this is the premium content they get. Now let's get to Highbrook.
Right. So, right.
These are the jokes, folks.
These are the jokes, folks. All right, so let's have a quick look back on our map over here. Dun, 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 dun. So our young travelers head across south through the wiggly woggly road that leads to the Highbrook Road, and you arrive at that main road and you start heading up steeply towards Highbrook itself. Now let's have a quick look over here and see if we can open up ourselves a map of Highbrook. Bonk, that's it there. So just to get an idea, Highbrook kind of looks like that. So yeah, another one of my very colorful crayon maps. So you're coming in from the right-hand side of the map, and you'll notice that as you come up towards Highbrook, which again I reiterate is also called Hemithterith by the elves, you see a lot of towers, and it's going to take you like a full day to get there, at least a full day of traveling. And you see a lot of towers and walls surrounding the place, well-guarded walls. The light shining down kind of makes the place look rather epic and full of pageantry at this distance. And you can see that it's made up of several levels. It's kind of made up of 3 or 4 different tiers that go back into the mountainside as it goes back and up. Each tier, like these steps, if you like. So the bottom step is basically the lower quarters, north, south, western quarters of Highbrook. Then there's a cliff, and above that cliff, where the Highbrook River itself flows down, a waterfall in the center of that cliff. Above that is the Palatial District, which is a huge elven palace, which has been there for literally thousands of years. And it's quite impressive. These huge square towers and this kind of wall/bridge that spans the river itself. And the river becomes very wide with this massive waterfall flowing down through the center of the palace between these 2 separate sections of the palace. You might call them wings of the palace, which is literally built into the wall of this cliff. And that palace that's built into the wall of the cliff, halfway down that you can see there's walls that come off it, that's come forward, that project towards the front of Highbrook somewhat. to the edge of that step at least before the waterfall hits the next level. And so there's a huge area that you cannot see behind these massive walls. And above the palatial district, you can see more towers and what looks to you to be some sort of religious, clerical temple district, where you can see the towers of the various Seldarine are clearly being worshipped. You can see their symbols and flags and so on and so forth up there. Then there's an Arcana district on a slightly higher level. And then the cliff ascends sharply behind those three main steps. And the waterfall, you can't see beyond that now. It's just too high, but it goes high up into the mountains. And back in the mountains behind this place, you can see the snow. And it's, yeah, it gets very rugged and cold the further back you go behind that. But at the point of Highbrook itself is sitting just about where the tree line ends. And it's very snappy kind of weather up here. So as you get to the main entrance, you will see there are phalanxes of elven guards wearing very fancy looking uniforms, not milling about but standing at attention. Unlike Vaingate, where they're kind of literally forcing people to stop and asking them questions and getting in their faces, these are extremely disciplined soldiers standing at attention as you approach. Over to you.
So, Dala, are these guards anything to be concerned about? Do we need papers to get in?
Yes, I'll present my papers, and I will present you all as my my
Entourage?
entourage. Yes.
I've read a book or two in my time.
Oh, very good. Milford, I'll be very interested to know what you think of Hemithterith after Vaingate.
Oh, I'm looking at the architecture. I'm quite impressed, really.
It's beautiful. A different sort of planning than what humans do with their cities.
I'm deeply looking forward to seeing what you think of Barachiel when I eventually go back.
Oh yes, that will be a fun trip.
Aye, a fun trip. Anyway, shall we?
Yes.
All right, so you approach the actual gate itself. And two soldiers break off from the detachment and step forward towards you all. They move in a very ceremonial kind of a fashion, like they're very thoughtfully, every step they take seems to be measured and paced as they approach you.
And would there be a method of approaching them that Dala would know?
Certainly. In fact, Dala, let's make a performance check. Dun, 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 dun. You can have advantage on this check. I'll let you can roll a second time if you want.
Okay.
Which is lucky because that was fucking terrible.
It was.
22. All right, so you almost fall off your horse, but then you manage to get it together, and this involves getting off your horse. So you do, ahead of everybody else, and you step down towards them, and you do this very special elven curtsy, and you move forward and remove a particular item from your costume itself, like a badge from your Daughters of Twilight uniform, which I assume you're still wearing, right?
Yes. Yep.
Right, because you're not undercover. It's them that's undercover, right? You're as yourself.
Correct.
Okay, and so the guard comes forth, recognizing whom you are, or who he believes you are, and he bows down in front of you and he says, "My lady, I present myself, Gudael Ariasis, captain of the guard at Westgate.
Gudael Ariasis.
How may I serve you, my lady?"
I have come home to partake of the feast of the wheel, and I have brought with me a small coterie of servants and such forth.
Very good, my lady. Can I make a record of your entrance and your companions, madam?
Yes, by all means, please do.
He motions forward one of the other soldiers who comes forward with a scroll and some ink and a quill. May I take your names, please, ladies and gentlemen? Or gentlemen, because you're all men, right? Everybody except Gudael is male here, or presenting as male. And they approach Adrik. You, sir?
Adrik Fogdar.
Adrik Fogdar. Where do you hail from, sir?
Beronafin.
I see, sir. Is there anything else pertaining to your entering Hemithterith that we should note?
I can't think of anything. Do
you have any next of kin here, sir?
No, I'm afraid not. The closest I have is my lady Talandaran here.
Of course, sir. Very good. It moves over to Edryn. Edryn, so he approaches you. Excuse me, sir, can I make a note of your name, position, and other interesting points, sir?
Yes. I assume this is all in Elvish?
Yes.
Yes. I reply, thusly, my name is Baron Edryn Montkoff. I hail from Vanderhold.
He bows before you, actually. He goes down on one knee. Excuse me, my lord, I was not aware.
Oh no, that's fine. Small holdings. You don't need to. Nothing as grand as Lady Talandaran here. As you were, but thank you for the display. That was appreciated. Is there anything else you need from me in terms of
will you be
information?
Well, certainly I'm interested if you will be staying all together in the same place too. I should have asked you, sir. He turns back to Adrik. Will you all be staying together?
Yes, of course, if that is our Lady Talandaran's wish.
Yes, we plan to go up to the temple with the Daughters of Twilight.
I see. Very good. And any next of kin, Mr. My Lord Montkoff?
Yes. In Vanderhold is Maria Festenia Montkoff. She is my wife.
Taking it down. Very good.
And yes.
Very well, sir. Moves over to Leith. You, sir? Can I take your name, sir?
My name is Leith Mistraleth.
Oh, Mr. Lath. Yes. Yes, sir. And you are, I imagine you have some next of kin in the vicinity, perhaps?
My travelling companions, basically, yes.
I see. And you, what is your position in this group, should I ask?
Well, I am a researcher of sorts, and travelling companion to them all.
Of course, very well. And you also will be staying with Lady Talandaran.
Yes.
Very well. And finally, they approach Milford Brixton. You, sir?
Windwalker?
Windwalker. You have a first name, sir?
No, just Windwalker.
I'm afraid I cannot take just Windwalker as a name. There are many Windwalkers in the vicinity. You must have a first name, sir.
You'll have to excuse him, sir. He's a wee bit touched. His first name is Erden.
Erden Windwalker.
Very well, sir. He makes a note. Erdan Windwalker. And you are here to visit the temple too, then, sir?
Temple? Yeah.
I see. Very well, sir.
He took a bit of a fall on the way here, so he's in need of a little bit of help that these sisters can offer.
Oh, I see, of course. Very well. I will not keep you then. My apologies, my lady. He bows again to you, Gudael. Please, Godspeed. Open the gates! And the gates open up with a loud creaking noise, and you are allowed in. And inside, as opposed to Vaingate, which is very much a city that stinks of humanity, this place is exceptionally clean. There's not a spot of dirt, not a spot of dust, not a single piece of trash lying around. Everything is exceptionally clean. You do notice that that there are no peasants per se either. The closest thing you notice to peasants are certain old people, older elves, who you can distinguish as being older mostly by the colour of their hair, and the very slight wrinkles in their faces. And they wear kind of muted colours, and they walk about literally cleaning up the city, as if it was their civic duty at a certain age to do so. Or perhaps they just like doing it because they like to keep their city clean because they have some pride. Who knows? But in any case, the city is exceptionally clean. And as you come in, you immediately come upon a number of very beautiful homes on your right-hand side, and sloping down to the left-hand side there's a market. Ahead of you, you can see a huge gold structure that must be a temple or something like that up ahead. And Gudael, I mean, you're familiar with this whole place, so where will you take them first, unless you just take them straight to your house? It's fine. So you're going to take them to the temple, though, in Hemithterith. That's the plan?
Yes, that was the plan.
Okay.
The gentlemen will make our way first to the temple and get the horses fed and watered and brushed down.
Excellent. Sounds like a good idea.
And speak to someone there about the mood in the city.
Right. And as you're going through the city too, of interest to you, Adrik, you notice there's one street that you travel down, where on the right-hand side there's a bridge that crosses a river that goes through here, which is broken off from the actual Highbrook River that's come down through as there's little waterfall that's come down from the next level up. And on this whole street is a series of forges and blacksmiths and smithies and tinkerers, and they're all dwarves, oddly enough. The whole street of dwarves.
Dala, are there any elven artisans in the city?
Yes, there are. There's lots.
Oh, okay. So this isn't just like overt racism.
No, it's a case of this is the Dwarven district, and they very much highly prize this particular their work, and so
I understand.
Yeah, they tend to live in the same area because a lot of them are related to one another, and they all speak the same language too, which kind of helps.
Makes sense.
So yeah, they call it the Dwarven Quarter.
If it's all the same to you folks, I might slip away if we have a moment to visit a smithy.
Absolutely.
I think I'll be in need of some equipment more befitting our time here.
The Dwarven Quarter is something to see.
Absolutely. It's been a while since I've been around so many of my kin.
Okay, so you're going through there now. Are you going to go into one of these smithies yourself?
Yeah, actually. Gudael, would you mind giving me directions toward the temple and then taking Archibald with you? I'll stop here to speak to one of the dwarfs.
Absolutely. Do you see that building up there?
Aye.
Okay, so that's where you're going, and you just take this street and a few turns, and then there you'll be. Oh, no, I'm wrong.
You also realize, however, that he might not be able to access it by himself. He might need you.
Ah, yes.
Like, a dwarf wandering around Highbrook alone is probably going to get stopped.
Right. Actually, we'll just stop here, and we'll wait for you, okay, Adrik?
Are you sure? I may be a while.
Oh,
It shouldn't be. It depends on if they're prepared. But we'll have to see. I don't want to keep you.
Why don't you just go and have a word, and we'll see how long it's going to be.
I'll be right back. And Adrik's gonna shuffle off to one of the things.
Right.
Are you all right, Milford?
Excuse me, mistress. Remember, you are the boss of us. Okay, You are the boss of us. So, next time we have to ask your permission. Here, you are the big kahuna, as they say.
Okay, Eridan, and Gudael pats his shoulder.
Right, Adrik, you head into the smithy, and this dwarf looks up at you. Greetings and hail of the Banakaya.
Aye, hail. A pleasure to meet you. My name is Adrik Fogdar, of Baron Arfane.
You can call me Halgrit.
Halgrit, a pleasure to meet you. Halgrit, it appears that, my mistress and my coterie are here for the Feast of the Wheel.
Aye.
This chainmail that I crafted this myself. I'm something of a smith.
Oh, it's very good. Oh.
Thank you.
You've got some broken rings here, though. I can see that. I can fix those for you if you like. Yes.
Well, that's the thing. Not entirely. I don't really want it fixed. I'm in the market for armor that's a bit better.
Better? What you want is dwarven plate.
That's exactly what I want.
Dwarven plate. Well, as it so happens, I have some of that. We might have to adjust it, of course.
Of course.
Now, between me and my cousins in the adjacent shops, we can put together a full set of dwarven plate for you if you were to spend some time with us, probably within a day or two.
Spectacular. How long would you need me with you? Because I will be in here in the city for a wee while.
Well, it's a good question. I'd have to look into that. Probably a couple of hours, I'd say.
Fantastic. I'll just let my friends know that I'll be here with you for a little while.
Oh, you want to do it right now?
Aye, the sooner the better.
All right then. Well, perhaps tell your friends to come back here in about, let's see, 4 hours' time.
Fantastic. I'll be right back. And Adrik toddles to the front of the store. Friends, Lady Talandaran, they're able to take care of me, but I'll be about 4 hours. Is that all right? You perhaps come back and grab me when you're ready?
Very good. We will let you do your thing, and we will carry on. Is there anything you would like us to drop at our quarters?
Just Archibald and everything he's carrying. I should be fine just with my hammer and my armor.
Okay.
And your purse. You're going to want your purse for this.
And my purse. And Adrik rummages in Archibald's bags to pull out all of his money. I do love that you let me call him Archibald.
Yes. I was going to put you up a level tonight, but I decided that no.
Archibald ruined all of us.
In fact, I'm even considering to go back from milestones to XP leveling just so I can take XP off you.
Damn you, Archibald!
Archibald, you bastard! Cool. Okay, Adrik's going to wander back into the store with Helgrund.
All right, you go back in. All right, and you're going to spend the next 4 hours being marched up and down the street to visit various artisans who are all cousins of Helgrit. There's Yelger, there's Falkrun, there's Jarana, there's Madrid and Morana, Orif and Thodris. All right, I don't know if you're getting all of these names, but they're all related to each other, and they all do everything from building armor and weapons and so on and so forth, and all sorts of other stuff too.
And as we're doing this, Adrik's offering his opinions and just talking shop and helping them to put it together.
So you're looking at different styles of armor and different types of different looks, different colors, specifically different types of pauldrons. There are shields you can replace too to sort of match the armor. So you want the right stuff. Everything from foot armor to gauntlets, and I'm assuming you're going to put together a full set of integrated dwarven armor, right?
Absolutely.
With a helmet.
And as we're going, also asking about how long it would take us to weld and also mark the particular runes that I've done with my current armor.
Right. Okay. Well, that you can add another, half an hour for that if you like.
Spectacular.
And they sort of cut down on the time because there's a number of them working together. Now, I'm assuming you're going to pay through the nose for this shit, right?
Absolutely. I have a total of 19,100 and minus silver gold.
Right. Now, let's just check how much does full plate normally cost.
Okay, so normal plate is about 1,500 gold.
Okay. They're going to charge you, if you want all the poos and wees, with every possible sort of enhancement to it, they offer you this for 5,000 gold.
I give them all of my gold, and I ask them to... I may as well do this in time. 5,000!
5,000, including all of every possible trinket we can add or change to fix it, to improve every improvement we can think of.
Absolutely, and your work is fine.
And it'll be tailored to yourself. And out of game, it will be higher quality, so it will be +1.
Spectacular. That is brilliant. I have 922 gold, as well as these 2 diamonds. Gems.
Gems, you say?
These gems. Each one is worth about 500. Now, I have a especially large cachet of gold in Vaingate, which I can have the full amount sent to you.
Gate. You need to pay in cash, my friend. That's not acceptable. I can offer you another set of... We have this lovely suit of plate here that's hanging on the wall. It was built from my cousin Gilly. Won't quite fit you as perfectly as the proposed offer, but...
What does the armor look like? Because Adrik wants a good.
Well, you've seen the potential of what they're talking about, and you've had this discussion, and they've sketched up this suit of armor, and it's fucking amazing. And now you're looking at this other thing that's like the second-hand, shoddy version of that. Doesn't have any bonuses. It's it's functionally is what it is, but it's the say you're playing Diablo, it's the grey version of the blue suit.
I don't know what that means when I play Diablo. All right. I will hold on to my chain for the time being, but hold on to the suit we've discussed, and I will come back, hopefully in the near future, with the full amount. I just didn't consider such fine workmanship in my first day in Highbrook.
Well, sir, now you know. Tell your friends, of course. Tell your friends.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. Yes. I will return for that beautiful suit, though.
Oh, very good then. Very good. It's a shame your friends won't be back for 4 hours.
Aye. Well, in that time, I'm an able smith myself. Could you use a wee hand?
Well, we could have a look into that. There is one other option, Mr. Fogdar.
Aye.
We could set you to work, and you could pay your debts.
That sounds perfectly reasonable. I'd be quite happy to do that.
But you would have to take on 6 months' work here.
That I cannot do, I'm afraid.
Well...
don't worry. Hold on to the gold. I will hold on to the armor, sorry.
Perhaps you can take a loan from your friends. That lady that you're with looked like she might be quite wealthy. Perhaps between you have enough money for such a thing.
I will ask them on their return, just to make sure. I don't want to belabor them. But thank you.
Let me ask you a question then. Would you like to go ahead with this set of plate? Would you like to keep your chain? Or would you like us to continue work on the Fogdar original?
Continue work, and the amount will be paid in full within either today, or I will return for it in a week.
Very well then. Very well. A week.
Because it is beautiful. I can't leave without it.
I don't imagine that you can now that you've seen it.
Of course not. Look at it. It's for me. It's beautiful. No, I cannot leave it.
It will fit none other.
Absolutely. There will be no other.
All right. So, meanwhile, out of game, you guys are traveling through the city, and you've got 4 hours before you're going to return. So, Gudael, where do you go? Where do you take these kind fellows?
Have we arrived at the temple, or
You can arrive at the temple if you so desire. But you go through the trade district, past the curtain wall and the box towers, the high district of the noble houses. You see the peasant workers and the guilds, obviously the blacksmiths and the armourers at the Dwarven Quarter. There's 7 bridges which you can kind of point out to everybody as you go past them. There's the Red Tower complex and the Golden Library and the Golden Bathhouse. The Northeast Quarter, the Western Quarter, the Southern Quarter, the Northern Quarter, the Eastern Quarter, the Southwest Quarter, etc. And there's the cliffs.
how's everyone feeling? Are you keen to drop off our things at the temple, or would you like to have a drink somewhere?
I talked to Miss Windwalker back in Lithlian, and she said that we could have a contact that if we go check in with someone called Gelt Sunbrazen. He is a human tanner in Lower Highbrook. I think at least if you wanted to go drop everything off at the temple and touch base, I could go talk to Gelt if you're happy with that, milady.
It may be wise if we went together, at least until we get a feel for the city as a group. I'm not sure a human wandering around Hemithterith on his own is a wise idea.
All right.
Would you prefer we go to the tanner immediately, or
No, I
shall
think
we?
we've got time. I think we should do what we came here to do, and get everything ready. And we have been traveling for a while. I think it's good if we take some time to just settle down a bit and touch base with your people.
Yes, that's a good idea. Okay, we'll carry on to the temple then.
I feel like I could fit in here, so perhaps I could accompany Mr. Edryn to where he wants to go.
To the tanner.
Yes.
Don't forget, she's got all the power here. We're the strangers.
Well, this is true. If you feel, of course, that I would be able to convince guards and so forth that I am...
Maybe just initially, Leith, we'll just stick as a group as much as possible.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Another thing that you will have noticed by now is that compared to Vaingate, where there are literally guards on the street all the time, the guards so far, you haven't seen a lot of guards on the streets. There are guards at the entrances and exits, and there are guards occasionally, but nowhere near as thick and heavy as the ones in Vaingate. But the ones that you do encounter, as opposed to the ones in Vaingate, look like they're very serious indeed. Like they're wearing plate armor and they have weapons that will open tin cans.
It's best for us to be pretty cautious.
Well, yes, of course.
I agree.
All right, so what's the verdict?
On to temple.
Onto the temple. All right, so you head on up, and you have to actually go up a very long set of stairs that go around the back, round the palatial district, and then literally outside of the city, and then up the zigzag road that goes up on the far side of the city. So you've gone through the whole lower district and out the other side, up this zigzag road that leads up like the whole distance of the cliff and the first of the waterfalls, till you get to the Temple district, which is very geometrical. Everything's very symmetrical. There's lots of moon-shaped cutouts in the floor, or should we say like amphitheaters built up with towers behind them and this kind of thing. Lots of high buttresses and bridges that expand between the towers as well. And some of these towers look like they're impossible to have been built, but yet here they are standing. in shades of blue and red and gold and shiny colours. And so you get to the Daughters of Twilight temple in particular, which is further back and inset into the back of the valley, if you like, here, that's been carved out of the mountain. And you go in through the gates, and using your Daughters of Twilight emblems and various sayings and such, you're able to pass through directly until you get inside. And here you come upon a lady whose name is... just a minute. Layla Ildruin.
Sister Ildruin, my name is Gudael Talandaran. I'm of Temple Solnor. We're seeking, and this is my
Welcome.
traveling companions.
Love, light, liberty, and life.
Yes.
We're seeking lodgings for the Feast of the Wheel.
Oh, I see. Of course. Yes.
And I was wondering if we could stay here.
Well, of course, madam. If you don't mind, we will have to put you in the... and she describes the sort of lower, cheaper, less flash part of the temple, basically because Temple of the Feast, Feast of the Wheel. You guys have arrived pretty much the day before it starts, and the place is packed. The whole city is packed.
It is understood. It is rather short notice.
Yes, it is very short notice. I will, however, speak with Lady Iamanthe Sunweaver, who is the High Priestess here, and see if I cannot upgrade your apartments on that basis. I know who your family are, Miss Talandaran, and you should be treated the best as we can.
We don't need any preferential treatment. That's very kind of you.
Well, we should certainly like to do our best. Now, if I can just take the names of all of your guests.
Yes. And Gudael will give her a list of all the names.
Yep, no problem. Yep.
As well, there's also one extra, Adrik Fogdar. He's a dwarf, and he's doing a bit of a mission for us down in the Dwarven Quarters.
I see, of course. No problem at all. I will make these arrangements. And long story short, she organizes for you guys to have your own apartments set up at the back of the temple. And what you end up with is a little apartment that has about 6 rooms that all open up into a courtyard in the center. And in the center of that courtyard is a tree with birds and things and fruit growing on it, and a little pond next to the tree. It's beautifully decorated and built, and light comes pouring in through an opening in the courtyard. Each of you has your own room, and there's at least one spare room there as well. And they give you a key to this apartment, as it were, and there you are. I hope this will fit your needs, Madam Talandaran, Sister Talandaran.
Yes, this is perfect. Thank you so much.
Would you like to be announced for the next convocation, or perhaps you would prefer to do your own presentation?
To be announced would be just fine.
Of course. And is there anything else we can do for you? Do you need any messages sent or otherwise?
Not at the moment, but I will seek you out should that be the case. Is there someone I could speak with regarding matters of the city?
Well, of course you can speak to me, but I believe Lady Iamanthe Sunweaver would be your preference. I'm not sure. What sort of matters are you looking into?
Well, it's been some time since I've been in in Hemithterith, and
Yes.
I'm interested in the political climate at the moment.
Ah, I see. Well, can you make an insight check?
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun. That's my making insight checks music. Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, a massive 11. You can't really tell what her expression says, but yeah, she certainly has an opinion. You're just not sure what her opinion is. And she says, well, yes, the political climate, yes, of course. Well, things are, as they have been now for some time. We maintain our diplomatic presence in Hemithterith on behalf of the Daughters of Twilight. We continue to maintain such a presence in almost every part of the world, my lady, as you know, I'm sure.
So not much has changed in 50 years that I've been training in Solanor.
You've been training at Solanor Temple. How is that, madam, if I may ask? I've always wanted to visit.
Oh, I love it. The human cities are so interesting.
I imagine they are. Now, meantime, Milford and Leith, you're standing behind Gudael as she's having this conversation. What's the expressions on your faces? What are you guys doing? Pretty much what you're doing now, or?
Just listening intently.
Okay. All right. And I'll take this opportunity to ask Edryn. You're also there. Do you have any particular expression or any? What are you doing while this conversation is going on?
When Gudael says, I want to know if anything has happened in the past 50 years, or like, nothing much has changed in 50 years. Edryn's like, oh my god, I'm 50. And he's just like,
right.
He's just like, kind of like, he's just a little bit kind of existential dread kicks in, just a little bit like, what the fuck have I done with my life?
I hear you, brother. I hear you.
Right. I hear you in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Gudael, you're talking to Layla. So in any case, I do hope you find these apartments suitable to your needs. And can you make a history check, Gudael?
25.
25. Let's have a quick look at that. Oh, look at that. It is a 25. Beautiful. What you notice is on the walls in these apartments is this amazing tapestries that have the lineage of the Seldarine woven into them. And so you can see these various trees and their various vines and branches intermingling with each other, and all in beautiful elven script is inscribed or entwined the names of all the lines, all the bloodlines going back to the primal elves, back to Corellon the Rathian, who was the root of all the elven blood at the beginning of the Dawn War. Which, may or may not fill you with some sense of whether it's pride or nostalgia or some sort of ancestral feeling. I don't know how you might feel about that. That's up to you. Leith and the others can make wisdom perception checks to notice this business if they want. Leith, you're more likely to notice it, I would suspect, but you've got
24.
24. Yeah, you totally sort of see this business going on. You can read Elven, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. So you see this. You know what this is all about. Milford, what do you get on this roll? 13. 13. Yeah, I think Brixton, you see it too. Perhaps it's just not as interesting to Brixton because he's only a half elf. And so I guess it's sort of, that stuff. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, well, I'm a half elf, so I don't care. Maybe there's a little bit of resentment even.
I'll never be up there anyway.
Right. There's that. Right.
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay, so now
Layla, before you go, the story of the Packard Rift.
Oh, yes. Yes.
In the versions that you've heard, Has anything ever been mentioned about why Grumsh hurled the...
Blackguard?
Yes.
Well, the story is well documented, madam. Even on the ceiling of our palace itself, in the throne room, you can see the story all set forth in beautiful stained glass upon the ceiling. Do you not know the story? Surely this has been part of your studies.
Oh, absolutely. It's just... I find there seems to be a hole in the story that I just don't understand why he would do what he did.
Well, because Corellon, the Rathian, took his eye.
Ah, right.
You were not aware
Right.
of this fact?
When I was growing up, it was always just that he was an evil orc, that's all.
Well, of course. As you know, all orcs are
Right.
evil.
And why did Corellon take his eye?
Well, they were in mortal combat, of
Mortal
course.
combat, yes. Right. Okay.
Sure. Does that answer your question? Gudael?
Yes. No, sorry,
Do they
I
not
asked
teach
the
you
wrong...
this? Do they not teach you this at Solar
Did you
Temple?
know what? I've asked the wrong question. Why did he try to destroy Seheni Moonbow's
Temple?
temple? That's what I was wondering.
I should say that it was revenge for his eye.
Revenge.
They have had a long-standing, or according to the stories, that Corellon and Grumsh had a long-standing conflict and altercation that continued for many, many aeons throughout the Dawn War and through the history of our world and others before it. Who knows is the truth.
Yes. True. It just strikes me that that could be key to bringing Seheni Moonbow back, but surely someone would have discovered it by now.
Surely they would have, surely, yes.
Thank you so much.
But it was, of course, from Corellon's blood that was first spilled by Grumsh that the elven lines sprang.
Yes. Yes,
So-
without that we wouldn't
I
be here.
suppose, in a way, yes, we wouldn't be here if not for Grumsh's attack on Corellon. How curious.
It is, isn't it?
Best that we do not spend our time dwelling on such pointless considerations. Perhaps we should continue with our prayers instead.
You're quite right. I'm sure.
Needless distraction, I suspect. But very interesting, and thank you for bringing these things to my attention, Milady Talandaran, Sister Talandaran.
Never stop learning.
Yes, never stop learning, indeed. And she kind of leaves with this confused look on her face, having never thought about certain aspects of her faith or, religion before, and closes the door. What are you guys going to do for 3 hours now that you're...
I can't stand it. I keep forgetting that damn name.
Dan.
Dan?
Yeah, but I keep forgetting it. And I've used names before. I don't know what's wrong with me.
We could call you for short, so if you get confused, you can just go, and then...
Oh, we'll remind you.
But
And then
this
that's
is
it.
not-
You've said it. You go,
This is
and
not
you've
like
said it.
me. This is not like me. I don't know. Just being here is making me nervous.
Can I get a
Yes,
wisdom
don't think-
perception check from everybody, please?
Oh dear.
I don't think Adrik would like it much here either. He's
Just completely closed my character sheet.
not particularly
That sucks.
happy with the gods, is he? And I don't think this... It's a bit... If you don't mind me saying, Gudael, it's a bit showy. All
Oh.
this. It's very nice, but it's quite elaborate. quite out there.
It's very different to Vaingate, that's for sure.
17 was my
17 for
perception check.
Leith. Gudael, was that a 16?
Correct.
Edryn, was that an 11?
Yep.
Okay. And Milford Brixton, wisdom perception. Milford Brixton. Is it coming? Here we go. It's rolling, and a big, fat, ugly 8. Wow. Okay, so Leith and Gudael, you both notice this blackbird flies in and lands on a tree in the center of the courtyard, and it begins chomping into this apple that's growing on the tree. Until finally it manages to actually knock it off the tree and it falls to the ground. And the blackbird flies down and grabs it, has another chomp on it, and literally picks it up and flies out with it while you're having the conversation.
That was
That's very strange. Is there known to be some sort of harbinger or something of that sort? Can I roll a like a religion check or something, Russell?
You can make a religion check.
19.
A 19. Well, what you know, Leith, is that there's just about any religion you can care to mention, blackbirds are generally seen as harbingers of something or another. You can't say that it's especially any one thing, but definitely blackbirds, death, often related. But then again, blackbirds are just birds and they're black, so it could have just been a coincidence.
What tree did the apple come off of?
The apple tree.
I know, but if there are... Oh, this is one apple tree. I was getting confused between the tapestry trees and the apple
Oh, no.
tree.
The tapestry
That's
trees
my
are...
bad. I got confused.
No, that's a whole other ball game. Yep.
Yes. All right.
Yep.
incredibly strong bird, though, to carry
Was.
an apple.
Right. It was a big blackbird.
And
Let's call it a raven.
raven. Raven Queen?
Well, that might go through your head, Gudael, certainly. And there is a reason why the Raven Queen, is the goddess of death, and ravens are associated with death, and that might be that association.
Well,
In any case, nothing particularly interesting happens besides that. So, unless you're going to do something or have a conversation, I'm going to skip forward 3.5 hours. Yeah.
Did we want to go talk to Sunbrazen with or without Adrik?
we can go now. We can go. I think it's on the way to the Dwarven Quarter.
Oh yes, we could go pick up Adrik on the way back.
You will need to go through the Dwarven Quarters to get to the
Okay.
to the
Sorry.
human
Yes,
Tanners.
we could pick him up on the way back, because if he's going to be 3 hours, we can go talk to Sunbrazen and come back, and we can all.
You can also,
evening.
I will also say that there is another knock at the door at some point. In fact, it's not a knock at the door, it's a bell. There is a cable outside the door where someone can ring a bell. And if you answer it, I don't know who will answer it if they do. Assuming perhaps Gudael might answer it.
Yeah,
She is,
Gudael
after
will
all,
answer it.
She answers it. There is a servant outside with a tray full of foods and refreshments set out for everybody from the Daughters of Twilight.
Oh, thank you.
And of course, each of these apartment rooms, which are separate and have their own doors that surround the courtyard, has a bed inside it and a chest at the foot of that bed. There we go.
Dala,
Yes, Erden.
don't go and get your own tray. We're supposed to get your tray.
Okay, I just opened the door.
Don't open the door! We're supposed to open the door!
All right, so you guys, what are you doing?
I will take the tray from her
Yep.
and put it down on the table,
All right.
as a servant should.
Very good. Okay, and there is a covered area around the courtyard where the eaves overlap with the courtyard, and there is a table on one side of that. It's like a large dining table that you can all sit at if you so desire. You can lay plans and things there too if you wish. Anyway, so what are you gonna do?
All right. Now, what's your next step, Dala? What's your next step?
I thought we were going to go to the tanners.
Yes.
Yes. You need some new leather armor, do you not? Or what kind of armor were you after, Erdan?
I've got armor.
I thought you wanted to change.
No, I've got armor.
Okay. Sorry.
No. How? All right. Acquaint us with your family. Tell us about your family. What are we to expect?
Oh,
Brother first.
my Ren or
No, not Ren. He's not there. The one that is there.
the one that is there? Yeah.
Don't forget, you don't know that Ren's in prison.
That is correct.
Yes.
Ah,
Now
is
tell
his
us
name
about your brother.
Ayla?
Alar, thank you. Yes, Alar.
Awesome. I just wanted to make sure I got the notes right. Making notes.
Taking notes. Alar, he is a wizard and he is very competitive.
Yeah.
He likes dragon chess and he likes to be right and he likes to be in control. Are you getting the picture?
Yes, I'm getting the
I'm
picture.
getting a very, very familiar image, so yes.
All right. Yes. Sisters, if any.
So look, guys, I don't want to leave Adrik out in the cold for too much longer, which is why I was asking if you guys are going to go and pick him up at some point.
Yes, we were just on our way out, and then the knock at the door sort of
Right. Okay.
distracted us.
That was my fault. Sorry about that. All right, so let's cut the long story short then. You guys talk about your family, which we can cover at any point and continue during various conversations.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
All right, so you have some meal, you eat, and then eventually you get on the road. You head down through the city. You're going to have to pick up Adrik. It seems to kind of coincide about the right time anyway, by the time you get there and you've done all of these things. And yeah, so you arrive at the blacksmith's where Adrik is on your way to see the tanner.
Now, don't forget, you're in charge.
All right.
Ah, hello there, friends.
Hello, Adrik. How did it go?
Good. And I have a very humble request.
Yes?
I have not planned for how much the armor that I may need will cost. I have a good sum of it, but I may have to borrow the rest from.
How
How
much?
much do you need?
3,000 gold.
3,000 gold.
I pull out
You what?
3 of the $1,000 gold sapphires that I had acquired from May.
Adrik hugs Edryn. Oh, thank God.
Wonderful.
I will never forget this, Edryn. Thank you.
It's fine. It's why I asked for such a large amount in case we needed to go shopping and get some supplies. So I'm glad I thought to bring such a decent amount.
So is that it? Is that all you needed?
Well, I'll be
I mean, not
paying-
all, but
Actually,
Gudael showing up.
Is that all you need?
Only 3,000.
Adrik does his mental arithmetic. It's like, right, that's 3,000, that's 500, that's 4,000, and I've got 5,000. But no, I'm good. There's
You've
plenty.
got what you need.
Wait,
And
I may need 80 more gold.
I'll give it. Milford will give you 80 more gold.
Thank you, Brixton. I owe you a debt. Thank you kindly.
Oh, you don't owe me nothing. You saved my life many a time.
That's
Right.
too kind.
So it sounds like you've solved your credit problem then, Mr. Fogdart.
Aye, thank you, Helgrit, for your patience. I understand how tense this may have been for you.
Well, we've done all the measurements and you've made all your decisions. So this time tomorrow, you should have your plate armor.
Brilliant. Spectacular. Thank you so much.
Mostly it's going to be a matter of adjusting sets that we've already had built for other reasons or another, but yes.
Perfect. You have my absolute confidence.
All right then. And if you'll
Right.
put down a deposit of half now, you can pay the rest tomorrow.
Adrik gives the guy the two of the $1,000 gold gems and a 500 gold gem of his own.
All right, very good. Thank you, sir. Thank you kindly. See
Thank
you
you.
upon the morrow. Don't get yourself mugged in the meantime.
No, I imagine that they'll have more than they bargained for.
All right, very good. And Helgart waves you off.
And waves
you-
back at him.
You guys head off to the Tanner, wandering through the city now. And you see this most magnificent library in the center of the, funnily enough, in the lower quarters. Even the lower quarters has this enormous library with this gold foil, what do you call it? Gold leaf roof. Incredibly shiny and beautiful in the twin sunlight. And you see a number of people standing around outside debating things in this kind of amphitheater below. As if it was some sort of common thing, like a pastime even. Almost like college students or something like that, standing in similar robes to one another, with scrolls in their hands and pointing at things and pulling things out and talking very heatedly about particular... on the one hand, some of them are talking about laws. On the other hand, others are talking about religion and, geopolitic type stuff. But you head on past them. And you eventually get to a tanner. Right, and as you go in, Gelt Sunbrazen, you believe it must be him. He's a human. He's standing punching holes in leather with a tool. He looks up. Who comes in first? Who's at the front of this little coterie?
Gudael is.
Gudael. All right. He looks up to you as you come in. Greetings, madam.
Good day, sir. We are looking for a tanner by the name of Gelt Sunbrazen.
That would be me, madam. May I help you? You're looking for belts, leather, armor, saddles, bags, pouches?
Perhaps the cover for a book?
Cover for a book. I can certainly help you with that. Do you like hard leather, soft leather, any particular kind of leather? Do you want fur?
No, soft leather would be nice.
Soft leather, certainly. I have this deerskin here, if that's of interest to you.
Yes, perfect.
I think, if I may, Lady Telandaran, I think maybe if you've got a fox skin at all.
Yes, that would be perfect.
Fox skin. He looks at you. I do. And he takes you down through another door into another room where there's all these pelts hanging. Dozens and dozens of pelts. There's several bearskin pelts and even a polar bear pelt, hanging there. He closes the door behind you all as you come in, and you hear him say, "Tilly, watch out the front door, please. Keep the customers happy. Anyone comes in, you look after them, will you?" "Yes, Dad." And he closes the door behind you as you all come through. Fox skin, you say? Takes you through, and he pulls one down and lays it out on a table. How does this look to you?
Lady Tenodaren, this is your book. After all, we are trying to bind an original Windwalker. So,
Explain, I'm sorry, I'm confused. You want this put into a book cover. A fox skin book cover. Very unusual.
Yes.
Yes, well, it's for writing, keeping track of some correspondence.
I see.
And
Do you have the book with you? So that I can match it to the book?
Gudael brings out a sheaf of paper that she's been carrying out. These papers, if you could...
Would anyone like to make an insight check?
I can be heard, eh?
Yes? Yep.
We'd like the book cover to be fit for a king.
Fit for a king. Alright. So that's 16. Was that Adrik?
That was Adrik.
Adrik, you're not sure that the Tanner is really getting the gist of this right yet. I mean, maybe he is, and maybe he's clicked that certainly could be a code word, but at this point he's playing it cool. Because it might just be people looking for foxskin book covers. You know.
Or maybe...
Yes, that's I did mention the that it is a Windwalker original.
Windwalker original, did you say?
Edryn, did you have a sample of the fox we found? Its tail, perhaps?
Oh, yes. Something in the scheme of this, and I pull out the little
I see.
left behind trinket that we got.
Oh, I see. He looks around a little carefully. He says, very well. You've been sent here by... You friends of Vashti, are you?
Aye, it's her book after all.
I see. You should best keep your voice down a little. The walls here tend to have ears. Aye? You're new in town.
Arrived this morning.
Very new.
I see. And you, madam, you are a daughter of Twilight.
Yes, my name is Gudael.
Greetings, Gudael. He bows. I'm very honored to meet you, ma'am. And he repeats his own name. I am Gelt Sunbrazen. I hail from Dagdagiel to the south.
Ah, so you might be aware of the marching army from Dagdagiel to Vaingate?
Oh, I have heard the news that there is armies on the march. Yes, it's unclear as to whether they're leading an aggressive force or if they're there to reinforce Vaingate in some fashion or otherwise. I've heard conflicting rumors. I don't pay much heed to that nonsense, honestly. It's part of the reason I like it here in Hemithterith among the elves. They do not engage in such childish maneuvers. So anyway, the fox. You are you truly here for a fox cover, or do you wish to discuss something else?
No, I believe we're interested in setting up a correspondence. Edryn, is that correct?
Are you merely here to introduce yourselves?
Yes. Miss Vashti, she told us that when we were to get into town, it'd be good to establish a point of contact with someone she knows, and she
I see.
put you forward as a reliable tanner.
Ah, I see. Well, yes, I can indeed move packages to Miss Windwalker if you ever are in need of that. Usually it would take perhaps 2 days to get a package to her or back again.
Right. Very good. So you could arrange for a package to be sent you
Hi.
could send, say, a letter, and we could get something
Hi.
back that might be useful in Adrik. You wanted to get that more enlarging potions. If we're here a little bit longer than we expected, we could always ask her to send it directly to Mr. Sunbrazen.
Hey, that'd be a good idea. Then we don't have to leave our compatriots on their own.
I can offer you one other service. That would be that if you do find yourself in need of somewhere to go quickly, come here and I will assist you in finding a way quietly out of the city.
Spectacular. That is a load off my mind, I assure you.
I have regular carts traveling from the city, and often they are so filled with pelts that the guards would be very, very busy indeed to go through all of my goods. So you would be probably find yourself in a cart traveling south that way. But you would be most likely able to get out of the city without raising any suspicion. I have good relations with the guards here.
Thank you, Gelt. That wouldn't bring anything down on your head at all, would it? No chance of that?
There's always a chance, sir. Always a
Of
chance.
course. Well, seeing as our introductions are done, fellows, was there anything else you wanted done?
Leith.
I don't think so. No.
Particularly, I'm slightly interested in that debate that was happening outside the library, but I think if it's getting dark and we're all tired, I don't mind adjourning.
No, I was too busy taking in the sights. I must have missed it. There's no sense missing out on that. Gelt, did you have any insight on that?
What's the question? I'm sorry, I was busy.
I was sorry. Max, did I misunderstand that you wanted to ask Gelt about it, or we wanted to check it out?
Wanted to check it out, but we can also ask Gelt, because if he can just tell us, then that's also interesting.
I apologize for steamrolling.
Yeah, that's fine. We're getting inside intel. There were people talking quite
Right.
passionately outside the library. Seems like they were debating. What is that all in
Oh,
reference
I
to?
can only assume that's part of the Elven way. Perhaps your friend here, Gudael, would know the answer to that better than I. And out of game, yes, Gudael, you probably do know the answer to that. It's very common. It's just a tradition. It's like, for example, in Buddhism, the monks are trained to debate their religion. They actually argue about it and look for loopholes and argue and discuss it so that they can further it and improve it somehow, and at the very least improve their own understanding of it. So this is kind of what they're doing. They're debating. The debate is just a very common thing, and it's used in all different aspects of society to improve the society over many hundreds, if not thousands of years. And when it gets to the point where the society has been around for many hundreds, if not thousands of years, then the points of debate get very, very finicky indeed.
Gudael relates all that to the group.
There you go. But I'm not giving you inspiration for that, just to say. No worries. Okay, so what are you guys doing next? Leith, what are you doing? What are you thinking about?
Not really anything. I just marveling at the city and following everybody around, really. Trying to fit in.
Right.
Gudael, did you want to see your father today or tomorrow?
I'm not particularly in a hurry. I would really like to speak with someone at the temple about the things I've learned. Things that are fox related. But I don't know how to source out someone who is friendly to talk to about those sorts of things.
Gelt, you don't happen to know if there are any fox comrades in the temple, would you? And if they were, how to engage and open up dialogue?
I am not truly that acquainted with the temple folk, my lord. I keep mostly to myself and follow the orders that are given to me directly. Those that come to me are given my name by the one that gave it to you. My place is not within the temples, I'm afraid. I couldn't help with that. It is not something I have any insight on, I'm afraid. I do apologize. I wish I could help you.
No, that's completely reasonable. It's best keeping safe. Aye.
I mean, out of game, Gudael, you know that you could probably talk to someone like Ialanthra in Vaingate about this stuff, but you've literally known her for a long time. And it was a long time before you were even comfortable broaching these types of subjects with her, because the kind of funny looks that you would get. Although to be fair, your character is kind of used to having funny looks because has her condition, so she's sort of used to being sidelined by various people for whatever reason. So it's not completely out of character for Gudael to ask weird and strange questions that could upheave the current worldview of, the hierarchy.
She doesn't want to turn too many heads here at this very moment.
Right. That could be sensible. All right.
What time of day is it?
It is getting late. It is late afternoon now. It is sunset approaching. First sun, in fact, is on the horizon.
Are there any big rumors around lately?
You're asking me, sir?
Yes, any big rumors about?
Oh, I've heard a rumor about. You brought up Vaingate. Actually, it's in a bit of a state. I understand. According to some, I've heard there's been some kind of some sort of upset. Queen, what is her name? Clara or
Clariska.
Oh yes, Clareska, Queen Clareska of somewhere or another. She apparently has gone missing. I've heard that. So that could be an issue. That's hot on the topic. There's a lot of conjecture about that. Apparently, the Barachiel wizards are demanding some kind of access to the nobility there. Something to that effect.
Okay.
Demanding access?
Aye, I'm not really sure. These are just things I've overheard and not particularly paid attention to.
I was meaning more here. Any big rumors?
Here? Rumors? Like,
yes.
What sort of rumors? There's always rumors about, like, for example,
Any
Gilly,
rumors
the Tavern girl is in love with Bosnar, the Duke's son.
No, important people, influential people.
Well, of course, you are a member of the Fox. Thus, you know the biggest rumors around, I'm sure.
That are? What are
It
they?
has been about 2 days since we left the Isle. So just in case any part of the situation has changed.
The Isle.
Nothing you should know about. Just forget that you ever heard that now.
Very good, sir.
Now listen, I mean, like, have any influential families had anything unusual happen to them on the rumor mill?
I can't say that they have, sir. Only that currently there's preparations being made for the festival of the wheel. That seems to be consuming everyone's time, and has in fact put the rumor mill to quiet.
And how are the Talandarans doing with their arrangements for the...
Well, there is one rumor I can tell you, one story I've heard.
What's that?
And he looks over at you, and then he looks at you, Gudael, and looks sort of away again. You are aware of the story of Galandahl Talandaran, captain among the Blackguard?
No, I'm not. Do tell.
He said that he's been exiled. Or
Exiled?
aye.
A man like you would know what he was exiled for, wouldn't he?
I'm afraid, sir, flattery will not get you anywhere when you're dealing with ignorance.
I'm sure you're not ignorant.
I'm afraid, sir, I am fairly ignorant. I am but a human tanner in a city of elves. I do not have access to the higher information of the elven peoples here. They do not talk to me. They do not tell me anything. I am lower than their lowest peasant.
Oi, listen. They've got servants, haven't they? These rich people.
Of course they do, sir.
All right, and you know servants, don't you?
Even their servants are of higher birth than I am, Mr. What was your name?
Oh, don't you worry about my name. I know it. All right. Okay, so what do you know of this Talandarin then?
Only that he has been arrested, that there was a trial, and he has been removed from office. No one knows his fate.
Oh.
Who knows his fate?
No one that I know knows his fate.
Okay, so it's a known thing within the city then.
Well, yes. When someone like that, it's as if out of game. It's the equivalent of a local constable getting fired for corruption.
Yeah, no, it's all reasonable and above board. I'm just making sure that it's known.
It is known. Yeah.
So that if Dala slips, then she can say, "Oh, I heard it on the way in," or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I think that'll be all. That's the best we can hope for, especially since the rumor mill's running a wee bit dry.
Okay.
There is, well, there are other rumors, perhaps not so much of Highbrook, but to the north they say that the Orcan barbarian woman Kargi Mingal is gathering her forces.
Who?
Kargi Mingal. They call her that. That's what they say, that her name is being clamored by women of all races and creeds across the world. And
women of all races?
Aye.
How fascinating.
Humans, even, well, it is said some elves, but I find that hard to believe. Aye. She's something of a rebel to the Orcan Empire, I'm told.
True. That's to the north.
Aye, near Kobandur.
That could be fun to visit at one point. What's the worst that could happen?
I should very much like to know more about this Kargi Mingal.
Well, perhaps you could speak with your priestesses or something. I'm sure they must have better intelligence than we have.
Thank you very much. You've been very helpful.
My honest opinion, sir, and he turns to you, Milford, is that your friend here, your daughter of Twilight, she will have access to resources and information far exceeding anything I could possibly know. I am not here as an infiltrator or as a spy. I am merely a point of contact. I am a functionary individual, here to do your bidding and your work.
I get you.
And in that regard, you perform your role admirably.
Thank you, sir.
Come on, fellows. There's more to be had, especially considering there's a feast tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes, the feast. I'm quite looking forward to that. Yes.
I think once we get back to Temple, I will send word to my family that I am here. I'm wondering if mother will be hosting the dinner at her place, or if my sister Ilivara will have managed to take over.
How many siblings do you have, Dala?
3.
All right. That's not... I don't know why I expected you to be part of a particularly large brood. I simply imagined so. No worries.
It is unusual, but Ren was adopted, so there's the 3 of us really, and then we acquired Ren.
So a total of 4 then.
Yes.
You, Ayla, and
Ilivara?
Then Ilivara. I'm
Yeah.
not sure I know that one.
Yes, she married quite well. Anyway, she's the perfect one. She is always taking control of things that need to be done and doing them rather well.
Are we
Hey.
still with the guy?
Yep.
Are we still there?
Yep.
Okay.
We'd better be going back then.
Aye.
Don't want to be here too long.
Thank you
Oh,
for your
and-
time, Gelt.
And Gelf, continue to make that book cover, will ya?
Yes, my lord. If it
Thank
assists.
you.
Very well.
Thank you.
All right. Well, very good. What are you guys going to do now?
As soon as we're out of earshot of Gelt, I just sort of Leith is like, I'm very worried.
Yes,
Okay.
that hairstyle's something to worry about.
Haha, Milford, very funny. I feel that something with Claresca has, I don't know. I've been thinking about it the last few days, and I feel like her going missing may be something tied up with the fact that she was looking for me, and I feel it may be important to find her.
Well, we can't be thinking of too many things at once. And besides, I'm going back there soon.
You are?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to tell you, did I?
Apparently so.
Yeah, I'm going back there soon. I'm gonna go and
Vaingate?
find her.
Oh,
Okay.
For that specific reason.
That's right.
Okay.
I kind of got her in this mess, I think.
We all got her in this mess, Brixton. We may as well go together.
well, I feel
Oh,
I
no.
may have been.
No.
I may have been the cause, because if she was out looking for me and was abducted or some such, then I would feel rather guilty.
Look, you lot, just leave this to me. Vaingate's my home. Leave it to me. If I need your help, I'll tell you. But we gotta finish this now.
I'll hold you to that, Brixton. But you're right. We'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay. Are we
Cool.
going to your parents or are we going to have a rest?
No, we'll go back to the temple. I'll write some letters, some messages to my family to let them know that I'm in town. And we'll see if we can find out any more of your rumors and such forth.
Yes, milady.
Back to the temple.
Right, so you leave the tanners, and you're heading out through this particular district, which is where there's largely artisans, and right now there's a lot of human artisans in this particular part of the city. And you can make perception checks, please.
There's nothing I'd
Perception
love
check.
more.
I know that you love perception checks.
I'm very into it.
I know, and that's why I do supply as many as I do.
That's the best I've rolled all night.
Now let me have
Leith is just so wrapped up in his own guilt about Claresca that he's not paying attention to anything.
Oh wow.
I rolled a 7.
Oh wow. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Talandaran, you rolled a 25. Brixton is rolling a 22. Holy crap.
Damn right.
Very nice. What else did we get? 14 from Edryn, 7 from Leith, 17 from Adrik. All right. Everyone basically, except for Leith, hears the sound of some song coming from around the corner. And the name, you wouldn't believe it, but the name Brixton is on the air. And then you get a little closer, you hear Milford Brixton on the air, coming around the corner in notes, musical notes and song. And you come around the corner and there's this little proscenium arch that's been sort of set up makeshift-like. And there's these people dressed in rather makeshifty drag kind of costumes performing a little play. And there's mostly they're actually, you know what, they're a group of halflings. And they're performing a pantomime, a satire of a certain heist that happened in Vaingate not so long ago, with a bunch of hooded hoodlums that one of them has a big hammer. And basically, this parody of you guys literally doing this heist.
Do they have other names?
They don't have your names, actually. They've got one name, Milford Brixton. The rest of you are kind of anonymous, hooded, black-robed villains. And there's one called Xandor Rem is a character in this little parody. I'm guessing that you guys sort of stand there, awestruck, dumbstruck, for a good few minutes just taking this in.
Edryn actually has a little bit of an attack of sorts and just kind of backs away and turns around the corner.
Okay. All right, that seems perfectly reasonable.
Leith has been not really focused on what's going on, and he kind of looks up and goes quite loudly, "What's going on?"
Edryn, before you leave around the corner, they pull out this massive book and put it on this table in front of them. And one of the guards in the story dies in front of the book. Yeah. The only things in the story seem to be coming specifically from conjecture and/or stories that have been related by guards in Vaingate. It's very one-sided. It doesn't have many of the facts at all. You doubt anybody could really trace you from it. But the fact that this whole heist has been recorded is thoroughly interesting and kind of bizarre to you. Yeah. Okay, so Leith, you're just sort of like, what's the hell's going on here, right?
Yeah, quite semi-loudly.
Semi-loudly.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a pantomime, Leith. It's for entertainment.
But
No, it's okay. Just pay it no mind. We can discuss it later. You can watch it if you want, or we can.
As you're saying this, the Shasuva comes out, made up of 3 halflings in a costume.
Oh, I remember this part.
There's guards getting smacked left, right, and center by the Shasuva, and one of the villains with a hammer smacks the crap out of it at one point. And Milford Brixton, the famous Milford Brixton, who's a halfling with a wig on that has dreadlocks, climbs up the back of the Shasuva and stabs it through the back of the head, and it collapses. The facts are all very messy, but sort of the backbone of the story is there.
Sounds pretty accurate to me.
I heard that it was killed by a cleric.
Yeah, well,
Right.
The one with the knife and the dreads. I heard he got flung through a wall.
Various people look over
Hey,
at you.
moving right along.
One of them.
Come along, children. Let's go.
Okay, so Gudael drags you off. Come along, children.
I heard that the elf
I
Are
heard that
you-
one of the elves killed a guard accidentally.
Oh, yes! Yes!
Edryn yells, "I hear all of this is bullshit," and starts walking away.
As
I
you're
hear
going,
it's all a work of fancy.
who sticks around to see the more of this? Does anyone stick around, or who's the last person to leave?
I think Adrik's the last person to leave, maybe.
All right.
No. Milford
sticking with
is
you?
standing there. He's
Right.
standing there.
Well, the next act of the play is where this group of villains turns out that they're working undercover with the wizards of the Barachiel Envoy, and they are dragged before Queen Claresca of Scartabel. And there's this, she tells them all off. So that part of the story apparently made it somehow. Somebody knew that much. And then this evil wizard turns up, Vorbus Dal Renaz, with this huge towering turban on his head and these blazing eyes. And the turban is not just on his head, it covers his whole face like a mummy. And these massive robes. And he literally flies over the ground as he moves. He doesn't even walk. Somebody's carrying him. In fact, he's being moved around on a rope. They've got a crane inside their little stage set up to do this. And he literally flies above the ground, and he's like fireballing stuff, and they're using like flour or something to just go poof, these big explosions as the city, little cutouts of the city are being knocked over and set alight, and these pop-up flames occur, and the city's catching fire, and Claresca is running away from Vorbus, and she hides and disappears into the city. What do you do now? Are you still watching? People
I am.
I'm trailing, waiting for Brixton. I think a little
a
bit.
group of guards come down through here and actually stop and begin to watch the play as well. And they must be off-duty guards, because they're not standing at attention in their usual kind of anally retentive high elven manner. And so sort of leaning against walls and things watching this. And then one of them kind of smiles and laughs, and they're looking at the crowd, looking through the crowd. You feel yourselves being examined after a while. In any case, they eventually move on. They don't say anything to any of you. And eventually, the play ends with Claresca being lost, and everyone's looking for her, and the city of Vaingate is in a state of chaos. All of the nobles convene at a council, and Vorbus comes into the council and demands to be given the keys to the city.
Oh my.
Oh, he does he?
Come
This
along,
seems
then.
very true to life.
I'm sure they got some of the details right. But
Sadly.
And apparently that dirty old Milford Brixton got away.
what a shame.
Yeah, along with his companions, those evil villains that stole so much money from under the noses of the nobility of Vaingate and the Barachiel Envoy. Yeah. So there you go, and the play comes to a halt, comes to an end eventually, and they're shooed off eventually the guards shoo them off, actually. They're like, okay, enough of this, you guys have had your fun, now piss off. And they go. And now it's well past your tea time.
Okay, I go. That's convinced me. It's
Oh, as if
convinced
you-
me.
As if you weren't convinced before.
I didn't mean to start all that.
No, you didn't. You meant to give yourself a way out. But unfortunately, the best of intentions and all that.
I know. I
Yes.
really do have to go, don't I?
Look, I won't hold it against you, and I don't feel the others will. If you were to just vanish in the night.
It would be heartbreaking to see you go, Milford, but it would also be quite understandable.
You two will look after the others, won't you?
Of course.
Absolutely, yes.
But you, I pokes Brixton in the chest. If you go, you have to promise me, Brixton, that you will contact us if you need us. Right?
Oh, I will, my friend, I will.
Good.
I'll let you in a secret.
What's that?
Next time when you're telling secrets, don't tell them in Dwarven, because I can speak Dwarven, you see.
And you know nothing, right?
Nothing at all,
I
my
thought as
friend.
much. Thank you, Brixton.
Okay, they go off.
All right. And eventually you go back to the temple and you hook up at the apartments. Adrik, this is your first time here. And so you're kind of impressed with this rather substantial...
I hate this place.
But it's beautiful, and the craftsmanship is incredible.
Guy, where's Archibald? I'll sleep with him.
The stables, a little further away.
All right, well, if it's all the same to you, please, I can't be here.
Would you like to sleep under the tree in the courtyard?
I'll do nicely. Aye.
Would that be more comfortable for you?
That would be... You have no idea how much more comfortable it would be than being in here.
Well, the courtyard is in here, to be fair. It's 6 rooms surrounding a courtyard. So it's like an apartment with a courtyard in the center of it.
Gudael, just throw me in the sack. Anywhere but this blasted place.
Well, you know, there's something I wanted to find out. Now you mention that.
Can something survive in a bag of holding?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to actually find out.
Well, I was partially a joke, but I'm curious. Let's try it with someone that's not me.
Speaking of, here's all the breakfast you put in there this morning.
I was hoping you wouldn't find it.
Edryn, that was for you. Just a pile of shit on the floor.
Now.
Well, floor bricky's not too bad. I've had worse.
Muscle fresh, you know.
I hear they improve with age.
They don't look so good now, though.
No,
It was
I'm
only
happy to wait
hearsay.
Till dinner. I'll wait till dinner. Don't worry.
I can wait in our apartments till dinner, but then I'm going to go sleep with Archibald.
You'd be rather far away if we needed you, Adrik.
You're safe. It's a temple. What could happen in a temple?
What could happen in a temple? I'll tell you what, everything could happen in a temple.
Who would attack a temple?
Who wouldn't attack a temple?
That's a good.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh
At the
my
door.
god, that bell, I'm going to stick it up his reach. I'll go.
Get it now. No, yeah, I'll get it.
All right, Adrik, you go to the door.
Hello?
And you open the door, and there is a young lady there. Good evening. I am servant here of the temple. Is Lady Gudael available?
Lady Gudael, are you available?
Indeed I am.
Indeed she is.
Thank you.
What is it, Adrik?
There's a young lady here asking for you.
I'm right here.
Oh, sorry, you were obscured by the door.
All right.
Terribly sorry. There's a young lady for you.
Hello?
Greetings and salutations. My name is Roxana, and I have been sent to tell you that there is a message that has been sent to you specifically. There's a fellow at the door downstairs outside the temple wishing to speak with you.
Oh, okay.
A fellow by the name of Darian Janus Talandaran?
My cousin, I believe.
Would you like
Could not say.
Would you like one of us to come with you, milady?
Yes, why not? Perhaps not.
Perhaps I'm with a bit more guile than myself, eh?
No. I meant not the touched one.
Ah, yes, Edryn.
Person, that's the one. Leith, would you like to come along?
Who would like to come along?
Leith?
Oh,
Leave.
yes,
Leave
it's
would-
probably a good idea that I join you. Yes, I'll come down.
Okay. And down we go.
Down you go. All right. Well, you go down the stairs, and you come out to the front of the temple, and there is indeed a fellow on a black horse with a black saddle, wearing black armor with a black plume. And it's dark, so it's quite a lot of black. And as he sees you, he dismounts his horse and takes off his helmet, revealing black hair. And he goes down on one knee before you. Cousin, greetings. It has been so long.
Greetings.
I have heard that you had returned to the city, and I came forthwith to invite you and your companions, I suppose, to the preliminary feasts at our house.
Oh, that's wonderful. I was just going to write notes to my family to let them know that I was in town. Will they be also at your house?
Well, our houses are conjoined upon this occasion, madam, so that we may have one great feast between us. I am fairly sure that your family are aware of your presence here now. It has been noted by the guards.
Yes, I should have expected that.
I would think a messenger must have gone immediately to your house and passed on this information upon your arrival, ma'am.
Excellent.
Is there any particular reason you did not see your family first? Instead you came to the temple. I suppose you consider them to be your family first now that you've been among
No,
them
we were
so long.
tired. We were tired from traveling.
We too have beds.
True, very true. I am traveling with a group of individuals who are not all elven. I thought perhaps they would be more comfortable here. I was, however, sadly mistaken in at least one instance.
But cousin, our hospitality is legendary.
Okay, Adrik yells something profane upstairs, unintelligibly.
Upstairs? He's upstairs, is he?
You know, he's still in our apartment, so just yell something profane.
Okay. Alright. Cannot be heard, unfortunately.
Well, I will discuss it with my companions and see if they would be more comfortable at yours, if that is your desire.
Well, it is of course entirely up to you how you would wish to continue or proceed, but I must say that your mother and father and your sisters and siblings, should I say, are very itching to see you.
Oh, that is good news.
Now that you're here, they're a little surprised that you have not found your way to their house as of yet.
Oh, well, you know, I did have some things to check in with the daughters. I do have responsibilities.
Of course, I understand. I shall report that herewith.
My many thanks.
Should I leave you then, madam?
Yes, and please do give my regards to my family.
Of course. Do you have any other messages that you would like to extend?
Well, just that I am traveling with 4 other individuals, and I hope that they will also be welcome at the feast.
Of course, of course. He looks around as he's off his horse, and he stands. He comes towards you a couple of steps. He says, I do have one other thing I should tell you.
Okay.
It is tragic news of our family, and in particular your adopted brother.
Ren?
Yes, we have been forbidden to speak his name.
Oh, what? Forbidden to speak his name?
Shh, milady, we should do this in private, this conversation.
Would you like to come in?
Perhaps it would be best.
Okay, yeah.
And he follows you up and inside the apartment. Adrik, you see this Blackguard enter the apartments.
And I introduced Leith on the way in too.
Okay.
It's very nice to meet you.
He nods at you. Thank you,
I've
sir.
been told much about your family, yes.
Thank you, of course. Yes. So perhaps you have a room in your apartments, cousin.
As it happens, we do. We have an extra room here.
Perfect. So he comes in, and you go into another room. What are you guys doing while they go into that room?
The reason Adrik swore is that he was talking shit about the temple, and he accidentally broke off a wall sconce.
Uh-oh.
And he's shit.
How do I fix
Leith,
this?
why'd you let me do... Oh, not Leith. Brixton, what do I do?
What do it?
Edryn, can you fix this?
Edryn mage hands the sconce over to him. Is there a window anywhere?
There are no windows in this apartment. It all looks in on this one courtyard and this one tree.
He goes, and the mage hand goes and places the sconce somewhere in the tree,
Okay.
in the branches.
Is there any reason you don't try mending? Do you have mending?
I don't have mending,
You don't
so...
have mending.
What about your sovereign glue?
You're not going to waste
Not gonna
that
use it on
that.
this.
I'm not gonna waste sovereign glue on a bloody sconce.
Fair
He
enough.
just lets it hang in the tree, and then he kind of steps away from the tree a bit and goes, "Would you like to learn dragon chess, Adrik?
I'd like that very much.
Come sit. I shall teach you the basics."
All right, so you guys are learning dragon chess. Brixton, what are you doing while they're learning dragon chess and Gudael is in the room with her cousin?
I'm apparently being as stupid.
Right, okay. All right, fair enough. All right, so Gudael, you go in there and you shut the door behind you, and your cousin, Darian Janus Talandaran, puts his helmet on the table, looks around briefly. The walls, those were your compatriots, I assume.
Yes. It's Erdan Windwalker and Adrik Fogdar and Edryn Montcoff.
I see.
He has a bunch of other names as well, but this is how I know him.
I see. And you can introduce me to them properly later, I'm sure. We should cover this business first. Look, our cousin, your adopted brother, we've been forbidden to speak his name. He has been imprisoned in the Sufferance. He's been taken. Our lord, Elandril himself, your father, has taken him there. He did the deed himself. It was apparently very difficult for him, and
It was difficult for him.
your brothers and sisters grieve his loss, as do I, of course. But there's nothing that can be done. The man is said to be a traitor. He has been passing secrets to the enemy, and this is nothing can be done. Yes, unfortunately, he's been caught red-handed, holding our battle plans and passing them to enemies among the Orcan ranks on the other side of the Barachiel.
Passing battle plans.
Yes, unfortunately, yes. Our military secrets, the weaknesses in our defenses. It is said that the Orcan army marches even as we speak upon us, and they may breach the Barachiel at any time. They have a standing army of many, many hundreds of thousands, awaiting the time to make their breach. And these battle plans that our cousin has past them may be the final straw to allow
Is-
them to make this breach. Therefore, your father has seen no other recourse but to have him imprisoned in the Sufferance. The king himself would have had the man executed, but if not for your father's stayed his hand.
The Orcan army is marching on Hemithterith?
Yes, all of these lands, yes. It is said that they intend to breach the Highbrook Pass.
And the leaders have obviously kept this quite quiet because it's not general knowledge at the moment.
No, cousin, it is not general knowledge.
I see.
And this should not be allowed to be spoken of either. These are state secrets.
I understand.
But I thought that you of all should know, because I am told that you were the closest of all the family to Ren.
Yes, I guess it will be expected that I won't mention him at dinner tomorrow.
Well, it will be tense. It will be tense. But there will be a lot of distraction, to be fair. The festival itself, which we must attend, will travel through the city and circumambulate the upper districts a number of times. Yes.
And the Anab strike will be brought out as normal?
Of course. We have a contingent. In fact, our cousin Usana is upon the detail, the Anam strike detail.
Is he?
She.
Sorry, yes, she, that's something, isn't it?
Yes. She's very proud, and so are all of our cousins for her. Yes. So I feel terrible to have to breach you this news. I'm so sorry.
Yes. Is there any other news that I should be aware of going into this festival tomorrow?
No great news, except to say that you will find that everyone among the gentry is on high alert. Some of us are more or less aware of the situation regarding the Highbrook passage.
And at what point will the city let it be known that there's danger?
Well, we are amassing our own defenses at present. He leans in and he says, perhaps you've heard of an army marching from Gudael.
Yes, we heard of that.
They are under the command of King Ivran. They are a mercenary army, and they will be not marching upon Vaingate. They will be coming here. But that must not be known until they are most of the way.
Yes, well, one last hurrah then before the city gets a bit more serious.
Yes, I should say. This might be the last supper, one might say. The eye of the storm.
I see.
Yes.
No,
Anything else, my lady?
Thank you so much for making the trip.
Of course, I should probably get going then.
Okay.
Would you like to introduce me to your cousins, your friends now or later?
Oh, yes. Please come and meet them.
All right. So you open the door and you step out into the courtyard. And this Blackguard steps out into the courtyard with Gudael. He looks around at each of you.
Gentlemen, this is my cousin, Darian Yanis Talandaran.
He bows.
And Leith, Mr. Laff, you met downstairs.
We've met, of course, yes.
Yes.
Adrik Fogdar.
Pleasure to
my
meet
pleasure
you.
to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, sir. You hail from the Banakaya, then, I assume?
Aye, Baron Arfane specifically.
Ah, very well.
Thank you.
And you've known my cousin for some time, I assume?
Aye, a little while. Since she was in Vaingate.
Have you all travelled from Vaingate?
Aye.
Yes.
I was
Yes.
doing a wee bit of work for a cousin over there, and I'm quite glad to be on the road again.
I see. Very good. Very well. A human among you. How curious.
Yes, he's from some ways off as well. From
Yes, I'm from Vanderhold, from the north.
Vanderhold. There has been some trouble in Vanderhold, I've heard. You aware?
Recent trouble? No, I know there was quite a bit of, I mean, there was a war roughly 30 years ago, but nothing new. What has happened recently?
Well, our intelligence tells us there's been a number of insurrections in Vanderhold of recent.
Oh, who by and who against?
That information, I'm afraid, I do not have at hand. It's not something that I was, to be honest with you, was it Lord Edryn?
Baron, yes. My family got taken down a couple of notches after.
Forgive me. How should I
combat.
address you then?
If you would like to, you can just call me Edryn if you like. I'm not particularly high on
I
formalities when
do
it comes
prefer
to
to use the correct parlance if possible.
myself. Baron Montkopf, then I suppose would be the correct title.
Very well, Baron. Look, yes, I am personally not especially concerned with this particular district of the world, but I could find more information for you if you are so interested.
Yes, if you would not mind, and if you need, I mean, I'm not sure I can do anything, but if you need a favor in anything or any help with anything, and in return, I'm more than happy to help. I don't want you running chores for us without,
No. This would be this would.
consideration.
You are a friend of my cousin's and thus a friend of mine.
Ah, thank you.
Very well. I must away. Thank you for your time. And he withdraws, and he bows to everyone before he leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Unless Milford wants to go and talk to him and say
No,
hello.
no. I'm happy in the
Right.
shadows. Thank you.
All right. And so he does withdraw, and you shut the door, and he's gone.
The mention of someone being charmed, was that perhaps the was that perhaps the Usana that we that I charmed back at Timbrook?
I'll just say that Gudael has relayed all the conversation to everyone.
Okay.
It is most likely the same Usana, yes.
Hang on, wait a minute.
And the bit about the Yorks. I mean, at the same time, with your brother allegedly giving information to the Yorks. One, it's to be honest, it is coming from a Blackguard, so I'm not sure how honest it seems like they're wanting to tear down the walls, but at the same time, so there's a orc force about somewhere.
It sounds that is the case. I wonder if could it be this Kargi Mingal?
I hope if it's between some unknown orc force and a liberator, personally prefer the Liberator. But I've also seen people be called Liberators and not Liberator things, so I'm also somewhat skeptical.
Hold it for a minute, though. We know that information has gone to... You know.
Aye.
Sorry, Milford. What does?
I'm waiting for the punchline,
They're
Brixton.
telling pokers. Because... he says it quietly. He didn't give it to the orcs.
Whoa.
Who did you
He didn't give any information to the... We know it was given to him.
Oh,
Yes,
I see.
So they're telling pokers.
So you're saying they were looking for an excuse?
Yeah, and I think they've got it.
Or it's better to blame the information leak on the orcs than it is to bring up a potential secret plot to overthrow the king from the inside.
Oh yes.
That wouldn't look well. That wouldn't look particularly well compared to raving orcs.
Not only
demanding the
that,
end
but
of
it would mean they could strengthen their attacks on the orcs.
Yes,
That's a very good point. That's
the vilified
that's
orcs?
as well as strengthen their own forces in general, in case the fox decides to make a little leap.
provided they know about our lupine friends.
Yes, I can't imagine. I mean, I'm not sure how old the order is, but I can't imagine the Blackguard don't know about it.
They may not be aware, so any information leak that may or may not have come about may have just been thrown at the feet of Kagi Mingal or any other orc band.
True.
Unfortunately, there's too little information, but it's a mighty good start.
Yes.
So your cousin mentioned something about going to your parents' place. Was that this evening or on the morrow?
Tomorrow evening.
Right.
And there'll be a parade around the city as well.
Okay. Yes. Good.
All right. Well, does anybody have anything they particularly want to do?
Adrik wants to fell the fuck out of that tree. No, it's fine.
All right. Well, we can say that the evening passes without incident. That a equivalent of a long rest can be had. Not that you probably need one, because I don't think you used any spells or lost any hit points. But
I expended all of my gold.
right,
Do I get that back on a long rest?
you do not get your gold back on a long rest,
No.
unfortunately.
But money is power.
I'm a bit disturbed now. Everybody knows my name.
It's like you're in that pub called Cheers where everyone knows your name.
Everybody knows your name.
Now they're doing plays about us.
You're gonna get us kicked off Twitch with your proprietary music
Oh,
singing.
whoops.
Quick, sing it off key.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's a small reference, you know. It's not like we're trying to rip off the whole
Right,
thing.
I think it's
it's a parody.
fair use.
Fair use. Fair use. We're
Fair
making
use.
reference. If anything, we're giving them business.
That's true.
So that's been off the air for years, if not decades.
Right.
Yeah, but streaming services making like
No,
millions.
That's a fair point.
I don't
That's
know
a
where
fair-
you can stream Cheers, but maybe
Right.
Amazon.
Stream
Anyway, we
Cheers.
should
Wow.
talk about this on the stream.
Yeah.
Talking about where to stream Cheers.
Very
Well,
good. So I think we shall put our weekly game to rest here. It has been a fairly quiet story this evening, but there's been some interesting and possibly pertinent information that has been disclosed one way or the other. Adrik, you're building a suit of plate armor, which is cool.
Fuck yeah.
Gudael, you're about to meet your family again for the first time in a while. And you now officially know, so you're now officially allowed to know that your brother is in the Sufferance, which is good.
And I can't ask about him.
Not easily.
You can ask what happened.
Milford, you might even know your cover name by now.
No, I don't. I got no clue.
So you're obviously aware now that people are aware of some of what's gone down in Vaingate.
Edryn.
Erdan, yeah, exactly.
So think about your mammoth from the other game, Erdan.
Right, Erda, that's right. Wow, you remembered that.
Yeah, I remember everything that's not immediately important.
Are you an elephant?
All right.
Maybe. All right.
He's not an elephant.
So, ladies and gentlemen, those of you that have watched our game tonight, thank you all for sticking with us. Thank you for the bits that you've spent, and so on. Yeah, go away and check out the Gaming for Charity thing down here. Go find that. Click on it. Go and donate $1 for God's sake. Go on. You know you want to.
Give some of the Gucci shrapnel money you have lying at the bottom of your car.
Exactly. You don't have to donate much. There's no limit on how little or much you can donate. But I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of kids who could really use it right now in the Starship Hospital. So anyway, enough about that. Good night, everyone. Thanks again. Yeah.
Good night.
All right.
Good night.
And goodbye.